Hello everybody, Toby here from Pangolin Wildlife Photography, and today you find me in sunny Pretoria in South Africa. And I'm here to pick up a very special piece of kit from this building right behind me. So come with me, let me show you what I'm getting. So I am actually at African Wildlife Tracking, and they make these, which are the piece of kit I was referring to. This is a satellite tracker, this is a VHF tracker, and Michelle at the Kalahari Wildlife Project has asked us to come and pick them up and take them to her because she has a pangolin which is ready for release. So we thought this would be a really good opportunity for us to explain a little bit more about what exactly is involved in rehabilitating and releasing a pangolin back into the wild. It is an expensive, it is a labor-intensive process, but as you will see at the end of the film, when we release the pangolin, it is worth it. So without further ado, let's hit the road. So we are nearly at the Kalahari Wildlife Project, and it's an opportunity for me to introduce you to my travelling companion and colleague, Donald. Donald, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, my name's Donald and I work for Pangolin Africa, and what I'm going to be doing here is I will be monitoring Lucy's release and her post-release to make sure she transitions to the wild nicely.
So there we go. So if you would like to continue to follow Lucy's journey after she's been released, then please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Whilst you're there, please give us a like as well. And Donald's going to be using the camera that we're filming this on to get some amazing footage, because it's a very interesting and benevolent opportunity for us to study pangolins in the wild after they've been released. So that's basically what Donald's going to be doing. So yes, make sure you subscribe. Right, let's get going, shall we? Right. Michelle and the team at the Kalahari Wildlife Project have an almost impossible task looking after a multitude of patients. At any one time, there could be up to 50 meerkats, birds of prey including several owl species, as well as another rarely seen Kalahari specialist, Hendry the aardvark. Hendry was brought in as a baby, having been rescued from the illegal pet trade, and he's grown from this to his current size of around 40 kilograms, which means he's now ready for release next week. But today we're here to see Lucy, who's been at the Kalahari Wildlife Project for almost a year. We arrived just in time to join her afternoon walk in the veldt with her pangolin minders, Frighten and Luciano. It's not entirely clear how Lucy ended up at the Kalahari Wildlife Project. The details are a little hazy, but she was certainly taken from the wild as a newly weaned pangolin in the process of dispersing to find a new home of her own. The most compelling theory is someone found her in the wild and thought she might make a good pet. And if you are thinking the same, let me tell you, that is an awful idea. Pangolins do not do well in any form of captivity. Today, Lucy is back in the wild where she belongs, and it's an incredible moment. Donald will monitor her for as long as it takes. This could be days or weeks, but he will not leave until she is showing signs that she is settled.
My name is Luciano Richards.
My name is Frighten Mintari. We do like penguin guarding, penguin to walk with them, to check what he eat, what he want to do. Then we check everything, snack for him, snack. If we find the snack, we take him out. From there, sometimes we pick him up to put near the tree to help him to look food.
The type food for Lucy is the small black ants with the small eggs. That is what he's eating.
Each evening, Lucy is taken to a secure overnight facility several kilometres away from the clinic. This is for security purposes. Okay, so we were settling in for a couple of days, relaxing, going and taking Lucy out to be released, and we've just had a phone call, and there's another pangolin that needs attention. So, pangolin number 2 on the property. You got to roll with it. What else can you do? Let's go and have a look. Hello, how are you? Toby, hi. This gentleman found the pangolin walking down the road which had electrified fence on either side. Now, it's unusual for a pangolin to be out in the middle of the day, and the road is used by large trucks, so he was very worried that it might get run over or perhaps even seen by somebody who was less conservation-minded and taken. The decision was made to bring the pangolin into the clinic for observation, and seeing as the vet was coming the next day to see Lucy before release, she could examine the new pangolin too and let us know if everything was okay. Okay, so our new arrival is going to be kept in overnight for some observations. The good news is that the vet is arriving tomorrow to do a check on Lucy before she's released, so she can have a look at this pangolin as well. Meanwhile, all of this going on, Donald and the team have been out with Lucy, so I think we better go and catch up with them and see how they're doing. So let's do that, shall we? Come on. The best way to rehabilitate a pangolin is to get it feeding naturally as soon as possible. Throughout the months that Lucy has been at the Kalahari Wildlife Project, she's been going out every evening to walk and feed on ants and termites in the company of the pangolin minders. This evening, Donald has joined to observe Lucy, as he will be following her for the time immediately after her release, where we hope she will settle in quickly.
So this area where she's doing rehab here is heavily dominated by cocktail ants. So it's the majority of what she'll feed off, and then occasionally she'll find various species of sugar ants. It's not a fantastic variety normally. There's a lot of food here for her, but at her release I would want to see a bit more variety in what food she finds. So other species of ants, and also termites. So that way she's got we then know then that she can find different species as their populations fluctuate throughout the year. So certain species will be better or worse at certain times of the year. So a nice variety in her diet is what I'd hope to see at her release site. Generally, most pangolins, when they start foraging, it takes them a little while to get going. But once they get into the mood and they get their appetite, then it's just non-stop feasting normally, as long as the food's available. And then it tends to wind down towards the end. So we're normally looking at about like 3 to 4 hours foraging. So when pangolins are typically getting close to being done feeding, their pace tends to increase a bit as they start to search for burrows or head home to a burrow. For some pangolins, I haven't quite seen it yet with Lucy, some pangolins make it really quite obvious. They'll stick to game trails and nice clear paths. And they don't raise up, but they have a bit of a higher, sturdier posture, and they travel a bit quicker. I'll be looking for things like that with Lucy. Like, does her behavior change? Is she less interested in food? Does she have shorter feeding bouts and things like that? But it looks like she's starting to increase her pace a bit, and she's preferring the clearer, more open game trails for movement, which is normally a sign that she might be starting to get a bit full.
When the vet arrived, she quickly had to patch up a meerkat that had had its tail bitten by a rival female, and then afterwards she began examining Lucy, which is standard procedure for all pangolins being released back into the wild.
So usually when they come in, we have to anesthetize them, to roll them, to open them. But Lucy's quite used to humans, so she's quite easy to assess. So what we usually check for is just the spaces between the scales. Sometimes when they're a bit dehydrated, they tend to open up. And when we take them, or when she's walking on and they drag their tails, and just their basic habitus. Most of them that come in do have a bit of she's also got a bit of a nasal discharge, which is normal for them when they wake up. But new ones that come in might have a bit of a purulent discharge. Oh, good girl. Are you yawning? Had a good sleep. So she does have a microchip.
And so
Does catch it. Yep. There we go. So when they come in, or the police want us to microchip them so that we can actually check if it really is this pangolin that does go out. So that is mandatory. But if they're too dehydrated or sick, we wait till they're healthy to microchip them. So you can see her nicely on the inside. That's where we usually check them for hydration and we sex them, and you can ultrasound scan her also because she is very comfortable. But a newly poached pangolin will not allow you to do this at all. Like you'll see the next one will be completely rolled in a ball. But she's very easy to assess. She looks perfectly fine and healthy. We've had some of them, the ticks and the mites go sit in between the scales and you tend to miss them. But she is perfectly healthy and good to go. So this is a newer pangolin that came in that's still very shy. We don't actually know if it's male or female, but I do think it's a female for that I saw. So she won't allow us to assess her at all. She'll stay like this until she feels comfortable to open up, and as soon as you start touching her, then she will roll like she's doing now, back into a ball. She seems healthy. She started eating last night also, so we don't want to unnecessarily put her under anesthetic because that sometimes puts them 2 to 3 days back. Some of them sleep for 2 days after they've received an anesthetic, so then we're going to have to keep anesthetizing her, tube feeding her, and we'd rather take her outside and get her healthy and as natural as possible, as quick as possible. But she's about 3.6 kilograms, so she's already been weaned. She's good to go on her own. When Lucy came in very small and was actually, habituated to humans, where hopefully she won't get to that point before she is released. Last night she did have a really nice a poo, which we checked under the microscope for worm eggs, and we did find quite a lot. So we send away the poo and then tell us exactly what to deworm with. So we actually target the right worm species. I do think it is normal for them to have a certain extent of worms, so that's why we do send away the sample just to double check that it's not too much and what exactly it is and what to give her.
As promised, here are your trackers, the VHF, the satellite. We're now going to fit these to Lucy, and then we're heading off now to go and do the release.
Yes.
Are you excited?
I'm excited. It's always excited and a little bit of sadness, but yeah, I'm very excited today. Because she will be now a wild animal, and yeah, I'm ready.
I mean, it's a difficult decision to make, isn't it? How do you decide when Lucy's ready to go?
Yeah, that's not easy, and but the animal will show you, and she's now, for the last months, you can see she knows what's going on in the field, and yeah, she's here for a long time, and I think she's really ready now.
Well, it's the end of an amazing journey. Lucy's been here for nearly a year. So yeah, here we go. These are your trackers. That's all you need.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Thank you very much. Right.
So when we try to position the tags, we want to make it as comfortable as possible for the pangolin. So any sort of grass or twigs or anything like that, we want to try to get it as low as we can over the body shape so it doesn't get caught and hooked, or at least as little as possible in things. So when we position them, we also want to try and make sure they're in the center line so it's not affecting her balance. So I think we're going to choose here. And also the tags will be able to like swing nicely without interfering with each other. So if it does get caught, it can swing around, and especially when they're in burrows or they're rolling in things, it'll be able to swivel basically, so it won't interfere as much. Cool.
The reason we fit satellite trackers as well as a VHF transmitter is so we can effectively monitor the pangolin's movements whilst also being able to locate their exact position if we suspect that they are struggling post-release. Each set of trackers costs around $2,000, which is a significant proportion of the total cost of rehabilitating each animal. we've just arrived at the release site, obviously in an undisclosed location. Lucy is still sleeping. She tends to wake up at 2 p.m. She's very much a creature of habit, wakes up at 2 p.m, wants to go out. So we are hoping that she will be released today. You never know what's going to happen in these situations, but it's a really, really big day. It's 11 months of work with Michelle, the team at Kalahari Wildlife Project, the pangolin minders, Frighten and Luciano, Anna Lear, who's been working here as well. It's a really big day, but it's a day full of mixed emotions as well. They're really, really happy that the pangolin is going to be released, but at the same time, they are tinged with a little bit of sadness to see her go. But this is the nature. So at 2 p.m, we're going to get ready and we're going to go out and hopefully Lucy settles into her new home. When the time came, it could only be Michelle who released Lucy back into the wild. And it was great to see her striding off up the sandbank with Donald in hot pursuit. It's up to Donald now to monitor her to make sure she settles in.
So she started off quite well. She did start feeding within the first couple of minutes. For the first half an hour, she was feeding a bit of variety. She fed off some new species, which I haven't seen her feed off yet. And then she really picked up her pace. And she did a good sort of hour and a half stretch of doing some territorial marking and heading in one specific direction and just keep heading that way. Interestingly, she has just defecated, and that seems to have gotten her appetite going, because now she is foraging quite nicely. And there's been quite a distinct change in her behavior now the sun's coming down. So it looks like she's really starting to begin foraging now. Now that she's foraging again, we're just going to keep following her and just keep our distance so we don't disturb her until she finds a burrow. So hopefully she finds one. It is going to get dark soon and the temperature's going to drop quite a bit. So she normally starts looking for a burrow around this time as well. So a burrow like this is probably dug by a spring hare. It's a little bit small for Lucy, and it would take her quite a bit of effort to actually dig it out and excavate it to her size. So this wouldn't be her preference. She would rather find a bit of a bigger burrow, but if she really had to, she would be able to dig this out and make it a suitable home.
Lucy update. So
Okay.
Donald is back with Lucy. So what happened?
So her first evening, she did a bit of foraging, a lot of exploring, a little bit of scent marking. Unfortunately, she did not find a burrow to her liking today.
Okay.
So she investigated a few, but not one that she decided to settle in. Decided to bring her back this evening just as it's getting a bit cold. We don't want her to get too cold. They can get sick, and again, they're very susceptible to things like pneumonia and things like that. Hopefully she finds a burrow to her liking tomorrow, but at least she's beginning to explore the area, and the scent marking's a very good sign.
So the rest of the signage was good. She looks confident. She wandered off. The first time she's really walking with the trackers on her back, and no problems?
No problems. It's not really interfering with her movement. She was feeding nicely when she wanted to forage. She also fed off a few different genuses, which I haven't seen her feed off before, which is good. So she's getting that bit of variety in her diet. Just the burrows she needs to work on, really.
So what's the plan then? So tomorrow?
Tomorrow, the next day, the day after, until she settles.
Okay, well there we go. So that's a wrap for tonight. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
Yeah.
The plan this morning is we're out having a look for a suitable burrow. We're going to see if she will settle into a burrow during the day and spend the day in a burrow. So we are looking for locations. Donald thinks he's found a really good location, so we're going to go and have a look. We've got a team of people out here looking for burrows. So let's see if she settles in this morning. If she does, then we will leave her for the day. She will then come out to forage, probably at her 2 p.m. wake up time. And then we'll be able to track her on satellite tracker, and Donald will be in the area with the VHF as well to keep an eye on her. So here we go. Let's see if this one works. So we've found a burrow that looks promising. We're taking Lucy to go and see if she will go into it, maybe do a bit of excavation, a bit of housekeeping, and maybe this is the one. The team managed to identify 3 potential burrows, and one by one we took Lucy to them to see what she thought. And obviously it was the third one she chose, and she went straight inside to have a look. So it looks like she's found a burrow to her liking. Donald, are you feeling optimistic about this one?
Feeling very optimistic, so she's gone in to investigate, and she's currently doing a bit of excavating, doing the normal maintenance, clearing out the debris. And pangolins will normally make themselves a nice little cozy nook inside the burrow for themselves. So far, she seems to have liked it. She seems to be liking it. So we'll see if she stays in there for the next 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and see if she goes to sleep.
And then the idea is that you will track her using the telemetry, and then we'll see later on if she's moving to come out to forage.
Yeah, so I'll always be able to find her with the telemetry if she's inside a burrow, and as soon as she comes out as well, we'll start getting GPS signal as well, so we can use both to find when she's in a burrow and when she's out of a burrow.
She's been in there for about 10 minutes so far, so this is a good time.
Yeah, very good.
Awesome. Here we go, fingers crossed. So it's time for me to leave the Kalahari Wildlife Project and the release site. As you've seen, Lucy has found a burrow and she is going to spend her first night out in the wild as a wild pangolin again. Donald is going to stay behind. He's going to monitor Lucy. He's also got a camera with him as well, a little video camera. So he's going to be posting updates. So if you want to keep up to date with how Lucy is progressing, then please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and then you will see whenever Donald posts an update. I want to leave you with a thought though. As I said at the beginning of this video, pangolin rescue and rehabilitation is a labour-intensive process, which you've seen, but it's also a very expensive process. Estimates range, depending on how long the pangolin is in rehab for, that it will cost anywhere between $5,000 to $7,000 to rehabilitate a pangolin. Now, that might seem like a lot of money. You know, there are a lot of other problems that Africa has where that money could go to. But if you imagine that Lucy is now 2 years old, she might live for the next 10, 15 years out in the wild and have a pup every 1 to 2 years. She could give birth to 10 more pangolins during her lifetime. You know, we don't know about mortality rates. There's a lot of unknowns that we don't know. But if those generations go on to have more pangolins, then rescuing one pangolin is very much worth it. What we do know, there's a lot of stuff we don't know about pangolins. We don't know how many pangolins there are left in the wild. But one thing we do know is when the last pangolin is gone, pangolins are gone. That's it. There's no coming back from that. It's dinosaurs, it's dodos. There's no coming back from that. So we will continue to rescue pangolins one by one if necessary. And if you would like to support our endeavours, you can do so by making a donation through pangolin.africa. We will send the money to the Kalahari Wildlife Project. We'll also send it to other conservation and rehabilitation centres that we work with across the country, the ones that need it most. So I want to thank you for joining me on this amazing journey. We wish Lucy all the best. We want to congratulate the Kalahari Wildlife Project and everybody who works there on an amazing feat to get this pangolin back into the wild. And yeah, I hope to see you on safari soon. I'm off now. I'm going to go and check out a new safari destination. So make sure you stay tuned for that one as well. Let's see if that pans out for our future photo safaris. Anyway, I want to say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. See you soon.